up everybody, Nate here. I think we all can agree that money is a super important aspect in all of our lives, but the problem is most of us don't grow up talking about money and most of us do not talk about money nearly enough. Money is seen as this big taboo topic in our society and our culture. You're not allowed to talk about money at your workplace. You're not allowed to talk about bills with your friends or your parents. All of that stuff is pretty much sheltered away from you as you grow up, and then you get to be an adult and all of it's kind of thrown on you all at once. There are even some laws and some businesses that will prosecute you if you talk about money at your workplace, like if you openly talk about your incomes or anything else like your benefits. To me, I think this is totally wrong, right? I think we need to be a little bit more transparent about money because as we talk about it more, it's not going to be this taboo topic. We're going to be more open to it, and when we talk about things more, we tend to fix a lot of issues down the road. So with that being said and being completely transparent with all of you, I want to talk about how much I actually earn here on YouTube. So let's go ahead and break down the numbers. All right, so this is my actual YouTube dashboard in front of me. So YouTube is actually going to calculate a lot of these numbers for you because for most creators, YouTube is going to be the ones that are going to pay them first. So this is how much I've actually earned over the last 2 weeks or so just throughout May, but I want to take a minute to actually explain to you how you can make money on YouTube. So there are two major ways that you can make money on YouTube. The first way has to do with advertisers and YouTube itself, and the other way has to do with affiliates and sponsorships. We're going to be talking mostly about number one. So what exactly is ad revenue? So as you're watching videos, I'm sure you have noticed, especially if you don't have YouTube Premium, that you are going to get hit with ads throughout the video. You're going to have an intro ad. More often than not, you're going to have an ad in the middle of the video, and a lot of the times you have an ad at the end. These are a variety of different companies based on what you are searching for. So these are targeted ads at you. As you watch the ad, as somebody pays to have an ad on YouTube, well, you get a small fraction of that ad revenue. So as somebody buys an ad on YouTube, you are going to get a cut of that based on how much engagement the video gets. And I'll get into that a little bit later. In order to get ad revenue on YouTube and actually monetize your channel, you have to hit certain metrics. You have to have at least 1,000 subscribers and you have to have at least 4,000 watch hours. Once you do that though, you can monetize. Now, I want to be very clear here. Once you hit 1,000 subscribers and once you get around 4,000 watch hours, well, you're not going to be making the big bucks yet, right? It takes a very, very long time to make even a single dollar on YouTube, and don't expect to be making Mr. Beast money immediately as soon as you hit that monetize button. It's going to be taking a very long time before you actually start making money and start getting those YouTube checks. The second way that I want to touch on very briefly here is affiliates and sponsorships. Occasionally, as you become a bigger and better YouTuber, well, there's going to be brands and other businesses that want to use your audience in order to promote their products. So this allows the business to kind of get a bunch of eyeballs from you, and they will pay top dollar for this. This is why you see a lot of creators talking about specific brands. They actually will have these placements within their video, and they will work with the brand to kind of make that work for both the business and the creator. That way it's a seamless transition into the video. But like I said, this can be anywhere from a minute. It can take place at the beginning of the video, the middle of the video, the end of the video. It really just depends on the creator and it depends on the business and how much they are willing to pay. So that is the sponsorship side, and you should pretty much know every single time there is a sponsorship because the YouTuber and the content creator should say that this is a sponsored product or they are sponsored and being paid within the video. There's also going to be disclaimers all around in the corner, so you really can't miss it. Affiliates though are a little bit different because these are kind of like sponsorships because you're working with a brand directly, but they're also not. This is more of a passive income strategy because even on this channel, if you go into the description, we have a bunch of different companies listed that you can use to invest and save your money and do all sorts of other things. These are brands that I've worked with directly. These are companies and these are products that I feel like everybody should be using in the business and financial world because they're going to help you grow your wealth and they're going to help you manage your money. As you click on any of those links in the description below, or maybe I have a link here in the video somewhere, that means that I'm going to be paid a small fraction of that click. If you click on the link, then I might be compensated for that in some way, or if you sign up for an account or something with that affiliate partner. But these are partnerships and I'm not actively promoting them every single video. They kind of just sit in the description and occasionally people might click them and then I might get some residuals from that. Think of that as more like royalties. Every single time they kind of click, then I get something from that, but these are very, very small and few and far between, and I feel like a lot of people don't even know that they're there. But like I said before, we are going to be mostly talking about the ad side today in this video because this is exactly how much YouTube pays me. Now again, back to my dashboard here. So I started my YouTube channel in around 2021, and like I said before, as you can see, over the past 2 weeks or so, I've made around $30.46 from ad revenue. So this has to do with engagement. So when we talk about engagement, there are sort of a few pillars that you have to go off of that YouTube really looks at that are going to make you a lot of money. The first is views. So if you have a lot of views on a video, then you can expect to get a lot of ad revenue, because this means that advertisers want to put their ad on a video that is going to get a lot of views. It allows them to make a lot more sales because a lot more people are seeing that video. It's basically like the Super Bowl effect, right? So advertisers are willing to put down $5, $6, $7 million on a 30-second ad, even though they might not be getting any direct sales from it, simply because of the brand recognition, because a lot of people are watching that video. So the more views you get on YouTube, the better the chances are that you are going to make a lot more money. The other thing that you have to understand about YouTube is it is in the business of measuring engagement. So engagement for everything. We're talking about comments, we're talking about likes, we're talking about shares, we're talking about how long do people watch the video, what is the average watch time in the first minute, what is the average watch time in the last 30 seconds. These are all important metrics for YouTube, and there are a slew of other things. Do they interact with your cards? Do they interact with the videos at the very end of the video as well? So there are a lot of different things that can help YouTube to boost a video so that way it can get a lot more views. If you produce a lot of viral content that people want to engage with, then YouTube is a lot more likely to push that to a broader audience, which means a lot more views, and it could mean a lot more ad revenue. But again, it really just depends on a lot of different factors. If I go to my dashboard here, I can see how much money I've actually earned for a variety of different time periods. I can see lifetime, I can see 2023 and 2022. And what's really interesting is this year, I haven't really actually made a lot of money on YouTube. Now, there have been a few weeks that I've taken off completely because, well, a lot of you know, my wife and I just had our first baby, so obviously that is a much bigger priority. Sometimes there is a lot of other things that you want to be paying attention to, and I'll be touching on that again at the very end of this video. But so basically, since January 1st to today, I've only made around $246.72 from YouTube, and basically you can see when I'm actually uploading and when I'm not uploading. And the really cool thing about YouTube is it's going to help you kind of decide what types of content are doing better. So you can actually see right down here, I can see which videos are doing really well and producing a lot of revenue for me. So that helps me as a creator to try to figure out how much content and what type of content I need to create in order to hit a certain dollar amount. The really interesting part though is if you look at exactly how much I've made right now versus what I made in 2022, well, you are going to see a huge difference. So in 2022, I made around $2,607.38, and the spikes are a whole lot bigger. Now, what you're probably thinking is, well, Nate, you just told me that content is how you make money on YouTube. But the most interesting thing here is it doesn't always matter what type of content you produce and how well it does. That's going to determine your ad revenue. In 2022, it was a totally different economy, right? We had really low interest rates for basically the first half of it, and we had layoffs that really hadn't started yet, and businesses were still spending a lot of money on advertising. So these ad dollars are going to go up naturally, and you didn't have to get that many views in order to see really big ad dollars. But in 2023, that is completely different. Right now, we have advertisers pulling out, ad revenue going down, and creators having to get a lot more views in order to get the same amount of money. This is because our economy is in a totally different place today than it was just even 6 months ago. So things are a little bit different right now, and that means you have to get a lot more views in order to make the same amount of money. So like I said, it's not necessarily about how great of content you produce. It has to do with a lot of other factors, and again, those factors are completely out of your control. The other thing I want to mention too here is that this channel is very news-based. So there's two major types of content on YouTube. You have browse content and you have evergreen content. Evergreen content is basically going to be relevant no matter what time period you're in. Videos about saving money, videos about managing your money, well, all of these different types of videos, they are going to be relevant no matter the economy because people want to know how to do those things. Those videos typically get a lot less views on this channel because this is mostly a browse channel, meaning people find my content on the browse section of YouTube because I talk about topics that are pretty much only relevant over a short period of time, usually mainly around 72 hours. It's a lot of news-based content, so I can get a spike of views right away, but it's not a continuation of views, because once that topic is no longer popular, then people stop clicking on the video. So you can have a channel that is completely evergreen and have videos that are evergreen that might continue to get views and continue to get ad revenue over several years. Or you can have a channel that basically is a one and done and gets all of its ad revenue and all of its views all at once, and then it's pretty much done. So it is a really complicated thing here on YouTube, and it really just depends on what type of content you want to produce. Finally, if I go lifetime here, you can see how much money I have actually made on YouTube total. So I have made $3,642.53 just from ad revenue on YouTube. And like I said before, I started my channel in around, I think it was September 2021. So that is around 2 years or so of ad revenue. And if I go all the way to the left here, you can see there was a long time on my channel where I just was not making any money. And then even when I did start making money, well, you can see it's not super high. A few dollars here and there, because this is a really small channel and I do get a fair amount of views every so often, but it is not enough views to make the same amount of money as some of your big YouTubers. And it really just depends on the month. So I typed in here November of 2022. This was a really hot month. And one of the biggest reasons why November and December are really hot months here on YouTube is because this is a time when people are buying things. People are spending a lot of money, which means advertisers are out in full force. Advertisers spend a lot more money towards the end of the year because it's the holiday season, it's the shopping season, so they want people to see their products so that they can buy. And that means a lot more money for YouTubers here on YouTube. I just put in January to the end of January of this year, and you can see right here that a lot of these days are a lot smaller, and it's around half as much as I made in November and December. And the reason is, now that it's January, advertisers pulling out, and that's not just a 2023 thing, that's just in general. Advertisers now want to kind of cut costs because it's a new quarter and a new year, and they want to look really good to investors, so they start cutting everything, and that cuts into ad dollars. Plus, there's no real reason to continue to do that because shoppers aren't spending as much. They need a break from the holiday season. So that means my ad revenue is now going to be a whole lot less than what it was just a couple months ago. Even if the content is just as good and people are watching just the same, it does not matter. It has a lot to do with the economy and what is going on with advertisers and YouTube. So like I said, it can vary, but what I want to caution you here, especially if you are an aspiring content creator or you are somebody who wants to make money on YouTube, what you have to focus on before anything else is good content. I can promise you that really good content and you making really good videos and improving on something small every single time you produce a video is going to lead to more monetization down the road. You just have to stick with it. If you're just in this for the money, if you just want to try to make a lot of money on YouTube, well, I can almost guarantee that you're going to fail because there is not a lot of money in this business. Just like being a musician, just like being an actor or an athlete. If you're not one of the best in the world at it, well, then you're not going to make a lot of money. You have to continue to craft your skills, and it's going to take a very long time before you see those big checks. So what I want to caution you on is not to chase the money, not to chase monetization, chase really good content. Try to make yourself as best as you can on this platform and try to make really good content for an audience. Eventually, the money will follow. That is what I've actually been trying to do on this channel, so I'm not making as much money as I was before, but I'm not really focused on the money. I'm focused on making really good content that I think you guys are going to love, and hopefully one day that leads to something. But in the meantime, I want to try to build a really solid base of people that just are coming for my content. The other thing I want to mention here too is because YouTube is so volatile, well, you have to be extremely careful when it comes to income and using YouTube as your sole source of income. YouTube is great. I love being able to produce content and make money off of that. It really kind of pushes me to make bigger and better content so I can make more money and gather a bigger audience. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of factors that is going to determine my income here on YouTube. Like I said, the economy and advertisers and how well YouTube is doing, all of that is going to affect how much money I can make. And I don't have any control over any of that. I don't have a say in advertisers putting more money on YouTube. I don't have a say over what YouTube does with its platform. So you have to be very, very careful about just relying on YouTube here. You have to kind of look at a lot of other different ways to make money, and you have to be careful of just putting, well, all of your eggs in one basket. I love YouTube, like I said. I love posting videos. I love kind of entertaining you all and talking about financial topics, and I hope you enjoyed this video today, and if you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button below and ring the bell and also hit that like button button too. We're putting out financial education videos and talking about what is happening in the business and financial world 7 days a week. So if that's something that interests you, be sure to subscribe below. I've also got another video ready for you right there if you want to check out more content from me. If you want even more business and financial news delivered to your inbox 6 days a week, you can go ahead and subscribe to Market Briefs for free right now. They're talking about all of the major things that are happening in the business and financial world every single day. So go check it out. It is a super cool newsletter. That is it for me, everybody. Be kind out there, and I'll see you all in the next one.